Hi, LT. In the defensive scheme, there's sometimes that you're on the front four, and there's sometimes they have you stood up and playing in zone pass coverage. What is it like playing the pass rush and pass coverage, and how have you adapted to be able to kind of do both of those things from a defensive end position?
Well, I feel like ever since I got here, it's been a challenge being able to really adapt to being able to, drop in coverage, sometimes stand up in linebacker and be on line, because it's really a skill position, trying to go out and guard a skill position and then come back and, put hands on a 300-pounder. So it was a big development stage going on these past few years now, and I feel like they developed me well through it.
And so that's not something you did in high school? You were strictly pass rusher?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what, from your defensive position, what does standing you up like that, dropping you back as almost kind of like a hybrid linebacker, what does that do for the defense as the whole in making things difficult for the offense?
Well, I feel like in the scheme of it, when they see that big DN dropping back in coverage and stuff, it really messes up the way a quarterback or even an offensive scheme looks at our defense. They'll see a 4 down front, and then boom, out of nowhere we'll drop back to 8-man coverage and a 3 down front. So it's really based on the scheme of the game.
We'll go back behind the lights on the right side to Ben.
Hey, LT, I know coming out of high school you decided to reclassify, kind of get here a year early. So I guess, first of all, what kind of went into that decision that it was the right one for you? And with that in mind, just what have the first year plus been like, just kind of getting up to speed and kind of implementing yourself into this defense?
Well, it was a big step for me. I really didn't think I was going to do it, but I ended up actually coming into play and doing it. My first year coming here, I thought I was going to have to redshirt, but I was developed well by TP and everybody else on the coaching staff, and thankfully I was able to start halfway through the season. So I feel like coming out of that high school phase, coming into here, that camp part of the stage, when I first came to A&M, camp really set me straight and really showed me the ways to which techniques I needed, how fast I needed to be, like what I really needed to do to perform well on the field.
We'll stay behind the lights in the middle to Tyler.
LT, do you feel like as a defense you guys, had the right response after the Miami performance to last game? I mean, how do you feel like you guys progressed over those 2 games?
I feel like it was I never really looked at that Miami loss as a setback. I feel like after that loss, we really realized like it doesn't really matter who we play. There's competition in every game, and after getting a witness of the loss for this, our first loss this year, I feel like we took that in the ULM, like we took that in the matter, and we figured out a standard for our defensive room, and now we really want to upheld that standard.
And so now, how do you feel heading into SEC play with Auburn, and I guess just how excited are you for that now?
We're really excited. We've been juiced up. We're really juiced up about this week, and really the weeks coming forward. SEC play is always big, and we're always about competition. So
We'll go front row on the right side to Brent.
What's the nickname LT come from? What's it?
It's my real name, Lebius Thomas, my first and middle name.
Gotcha. And so you're being recruited by all the, out of Georgia, all the top programs and everything. What ultimately brought you to Texas A&M?
Really the relationships I built with the coaching staffs. I feel like out of all the facilities and everybody I've really been around, A&M's coaching staff and like personnel is really the best I've built relationships with and felt more comfortable with being out here.
Do I have this right? You have an older brother here?
I do.
And what does that mean to be in the program with him and to have him with you as well?
I mean, it really means the world to me. The last time I got to play with him was my 8th grade year. I was in middle school. He was a senior, and thankfully I was able to play high school or varsity as a senior or as an 8th grader. So being able to play with him really gave me that confidence boost, and being on the field with him, like just being on his side, just really hypes me up. So
We'll go third row on the left side to Carter.
LT, Jimbo's talked a lot about Shamar Turner just loving football, treating every play in practice like it's he said the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen from Shamar as far as, like, do you have any specific examples of how he just gives effort all the time in practice?
I mean, honestly, like, if you really set Shamar Turner aside from every other defensive player on the field, like, you could really see, oh yeah, he's definitely going to go to the league. Like, not third round, fourth, but we're talking first, second round, just because of how he holds himself as a player, and how, like, his work ethic, and, like, just the way he leads the team, tries to keep everybody smiling and keep the energy up during practice. I feel like Shamar Turner is just that guy that really stands out on the team.
And then how do you think, like, what differences would you look at when you're talking about the culture this season compared to last season, and just how you guys handle losses like the Miami game versus losses last year?
I feel like the losses last year really brought our team down a little bit. You could really see you could really see, like, the change in maturity of our team this year. I feel like after that loss to Miami, like, boom, now we know that that's not all we have. Like, we know what type of potential we have. We know what we could do. It's just how are we going to take, like, what are we going to take out of that loss? And I feel like last year we didn't take that, like, that loss to App State pretty good. But this year, that early loss, we're really taking it well, as we should.
We'll go back to the front row on the right side for a follow-up from Brent.
Sorry, I had to follow up on that. Eighth grade story caught my attention. So when you do that, you lose a year of eligibility in high school. Is that correct or not?
Oh, no, you don't.
Okay.
I was in a private school in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that went into your reclassification. If that did that influence it? So you played 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Did you say, hey, I've got 4 years of high school and now it's time for college?
Not really. What really influenced it was, like, really my mom and my dad with the educational standpoint of things. I was always taking summer classes and stuff, so I just wanted my senior year, if I wanted to stay my senior year, I wanted to be free, just focusing on football. If I wanted to get a summer job or a job, I could. But that senior year, I was just going to keep free, but I just ended up just go ahead and leaving a whole year earlier.
Anything else? All right, thank you, LT.
I don't know if did anybody ask him about being born in St. Joseph Hospital in Ryan? That's true. Didn't know if anybody did ask him about.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My 3 kids were born there.
Okay.
The background of being born and having that background in this area. Yeah. What is the story there?
Well, I was born here as a kid. Like you said, I was born at St. Mary's. I don't really remember it too much because I was born here,
Right.
but then I moved to Alabama at a young age. So
Your dad was
assistant, the associate AD. Yes,
Did they
sir.
ever tell you any stories about it or anything?
Oh yeah, I
know
used to
you
be
don't remember it.
I used to be a pretty bad kid. That's what I mainly remember. Is just how bad of a kid I was. But I'm glad I grew out of it. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Thanks, LT.
All right, thank you, LT.
Appreciate y'all.